Hey, what's up everybody? Max at Zima Automotive. We're here today talking about cylinder heads and cylinder head gaskets. What are they? How do they fail? How do we repair them? And kind of everything in between. So real quick, this big guy here, this is called a cylinder head. A big giant chunk of metal that holds different parts, one of them being the valves, and then this hole right here will be for your spark plug. So what this does is sits on top of the other part of the engine where the pistons come up. It creates a combustion chamber where we have that controlled explosion. And then right here is a gasket. This is a cylinder head gasket that would fit onto here, and that seals the combustion chambers from leaking into the water jackets and stuff like that, and that mixing inside the engine, which is exactly what happened on this vehicle. Was the head gasket was leaking, allowing coolant and oil to start mixing. We never want that because coolant disperses all the oil away from bearings and it will cause an engine to seize up if you don't catch it in time. This would sit right on top of an engine like so. And then we have these great looking things called camshafts. They'll sit right on top here, and as they spin, these are called camshaft lobes, then they will turn and twist and push down those valves and either open or close them depending on the timing cycle of the engine. There'll be one for each side here, and then a chain that connects them. So when we have a cylinder head that leaks, or a cylinder head gasket that leaks more specifically, we have to disassemble this entire engine. So everything on the top half of this has to come off, and then there's bolts that hold this to the engine block itself. Those all have to come off. This cylinder head here has to be removed, sent out to a machine shop where they bake it in a hot solvent, clean it, check for any cracks, pressure check it, make sure it is good to go. There's some repairs they can do to it. If it gets too bad, you do have to replace it. Once we get that back from a machine shop, we then have to reassemble the whole engine. So it's quite an involved task. That's why you see the price. When we start talking about cylinder head gaskets, the price goes through the roof because there's just so many components. Everything on this car, most of the stuff we replace when we do it, timing chains, tensioners, head gaskets, valve cover gaskets, exhaust gaskets. There's just a plethora of parts and procedure steps that have to be taken in order to ensure a quality job is done. So it's very important when those start leaking that they're addressed immediately, because if this leak were to go on for any amount of time, that coolant would get into those bearings and it ends up wiping out the engine, and then you got a whole engine replacement. So that's one thing we like to check during oil changes and everything else. As things come in, we look for any sources of coolant being low, because that signifies that there's a leak, that your coolant should never be low unless there is a leak. So we checked that. So we done this vehicle, found that leak, and the customer wanted to keep this car. So we went ahead with this extensive repair, removed the cylinder head, replaced the gasket, and we're gonna reassemble this thing. So in case you ever wondered what exactly is a cylinder head and what are they talking about, it's this guy right here, big chunk of metal. So and again, this was off a 4-cylinder engine. Now, if you had a V engine, like a V6 or a V8, V12, you'd have 2 of these per engine. But this is a 4-cylinder, so it only has 1. So I hope that helped bring a little bit of an explanation to a cylinder head and cylinder head gaskets. So stay tuned, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and we'll keep feeding you some awesome information. Thanks, guys. Hey everybody, thanks for watching that video. Don't forget to click and subscribe to this channel to get more information, or click over here and watch our next video.